complaints is always about what other people think, what other people will think, and what others have already think that you have already heard. But the problem is that it's in the past, and the problem is also that it's not in your control. Recently, I've gotten a haircut, and before this, it was actually so stressful. I was having thoughts like it took me months of planning, of thinking, of having good mental health to get this haircut. And so when I got it, I was really proud. Since I got it in the afternoon after my class, I was actually very anxious of what other people would think once I go to school. At first, when I got home, I think to myself that it doesn't really look good. It doesn't suit me, and it's kind of true. But when I was hyping myself up, if you don't know, I frequently hype myself up. I tell myself that I am handsome in days, especially when I'm not, and that keeps me going a little by little, and it keeps me motivated. It keeps me in this positive feedback of mindset. It gives me that vibes. And so before I got this haircut, I was actually saying to myself that if I get this haircut, regardless of what it might look like, regardless if I hate it or like it, I would actually be proud of myself. And so I've actually made past promise about getting this haircut. And so when I did it on that day, on that one afternoon, I was actually really proud of myself because I was actually able to face this discomfort. If you don't know, starting is always the hardest discomfort. Showing up and just basically showing up is the hardest choices to make. And so I really, really respect people who are able to do what they love, to do what they need regardless of what other people will think. And that's why I started filmmaking at a very simple way, vlogging this, recording YouTube videos, talking to you, talking to my camera. There have been times where I didn't really feel like it, and there's times where I just let it consume me. I regret. But today, earlier, like right now, I was really disappointed because I planned on making this and uploading this video, but I had some technical difficulties, and so I've already deleted the video that I was planning to upload, and the upload didn't really work. So earlier I just thought of this experience, the experience of starting itself. It is really hard, especially if you want to do something you love and you're kind of blindly going in. But for most people, they always wait for this perfect time. Let me tell you a real talk. So real talk for a quick second here. People who says that they need the perfect time to start don't actually start. Even if the perfect time comes, they will never ever start. And the problem is there is no perfect time. There are only easy times and hard times. And easy times are the most closest thing you get to perfect times. Because even though you've imagined yourself a full 10 out of 10 idealistic world where that event won't happen. And in some rare cases, the perfect things happen but not accurately. And that's the closest thing to the perfect moment you envision. But when you get to that moment, when you leave that moment, you actually don't do anything. You don't take action. It's because in your mind, it's still not perfect. So I want you to change that mindset and start now. Often people say that they care what people think, they don't really have time, but the mindset is this: when you start at the hardest time, when you start a difficult time, it would actually be much more easier for you in the long term. Because here's the logic, right? Picture the situation in like here hard times, easy times. This is the hard times, and it's mostly every day in your life. If you're a student or anything, it's mostly that. So when you start at the difficult time, it's actually like you're running in a race with a backpack full of heavy things. And so since you're running in a race with a backpack full of heavy things, you're gonna improve much more. You're gonna train much more, and you're gonna have the strength much more. And so when the easy time comes, that's the time when you take off the backpack and run. And that's the time where you're gonna run the fastest. Fastest out of all other people who will say that they need the perfect time before they can do anything. It's because you face the hard times. And so when you maintain that hard time, when the easy time comes, it's actually much more easier for you. And the hard times again, and so on. And so the mindset is that start now. Because when you start it, especially at the hard times, it's actually much more beneficial for you. Because when the easy time comes, it gets even easier. And when the hard times comes, again, you can actually maintain it. And so for those who are waiting to start, just start. Like, what are you waiting for? Everyone looks for the perfect scenario, for the perfect 10 out of 10 scenario to happen, or it's already happening in their head. But they don't often realize that the perfect scenario is already there. The perfect scenario is starting. Everyone is so focused in looking for the right time, they don't really know what the right action to start the right time. So do not focus on the right time. Starting is the right time.